Hello everyone, this is Christelle from Group 4. Hi, I'm just going to go over data meeting 3, where we discussed the learning and instructional gaps that we identified in our previous meeting. So we met on Sunday, March 15th at 3 p.m., not our usual time, but we decided to move some things around for our different schedules for this week. We met on Zoom, and Shannon was our group leader this week who made our meeting. Miranda was our group manager who developed the agenda for our meeting and kept us on task, while Amber took notes, and I was responsible for developing a presentation for this week. I'm utilizing Articulate 360, which is a tool for developing courses and other tools and learning tools for online learning. I'm using Articulate 360 Peak to record my screen, and I'll be using Replay to edit the video to publish for the assignment this week. So on our agenda, we were exploring our exploratory questions, reviewing the artifacts, prioritizing the gaps that were identified, researching the prominent gaps, and pulling out implementation tips from that research, developing solutions through specific SMART goals that we developed at the end of our research. So of course, our exploratory question comes from the comprehension standard. From Miranda's data from Objective 3. It says, are the strategies being used to teach the standard effective? If not, what can be changed to ensure more students are being more successful? And so we're looking at what kind of planning and strategies we're utilized in developing this unit and the activities for this objective, and what can be changed to be more successful in the future. So here's our data in our first table. We looked at all those gaps, prioritized them, and classified them as small group, whole group, or individual activities, listed out the artifacts and rated them on a scale of 5, and then pulled out some research from the articles that we read in the last week and pulled out some tips from that research, and then ended up developing some specific goals that we could assess our students with to see the growth from the changes that we're making. So these learning gaps we identified were student responses in the drawing activity and students' responses to open-ended questions were lacking in understanding. In those activities, students were not showing comprehension as we called for in the standard. And in our instruction, our unit plan was not focused in enough on the standard, and students with IEPs showed to have the most trouble. And so we want to be working with the student IEPs and the student support team to identify how we can support those students specifically. Of course, we had some research-based solutions. So when we looked into our articles from the American Federation of Teachers, we looked at 2 articles which discussed how students practice information and what kind of questions we ask our students to initiate higher order thinking. And so from that research, we developed some specific SMART goals, and we want our SMART goals to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and bound to time. And so we made these specific goals in which we wanted to see, by the end of our unit, 80% of our pre-K students able to state and recall the elements of the story, able to be interactive within our read alouds, able to answer open-ended what questions, and able to be supported with their IEPs and verbal and visual prompts during the lesson that will still result in comprehension of the plot and other aspects of the story that are being focused in on throughout the lesson. So this took us a little bit of time, but I think at the end of it, we were able to really utilize the research to make some really clear goals. And I think in the future, something that would take this even further would be developing rubrics for these specific activities so that we see exactly what the expectations that we have for our students are, and um, making sure to reiterate those expectations several times throughout the unit so that students are constantly being reaffirmed in what is being expected of them. Okay, great. Thank you.